Hello, 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 and welcome back to week two or part two of the Q&A with Claude and myself on the build and how I'm building the executive edge. Um, Looking back at part one, fun fact that 6 minutes and 58 seconds in, you'll notice that the video completely cuts out audio-wise. Of course it did. Audio is my arch nemesis. However, what that means is I'm going to go through and I'm going to recap a lot of things, but I'm going to try and fly through it a hell of a lot quicker. So how this obviously works is I've got Claude AI to ask me questions about my program, being Executive Edge. I'm going to answer them and then we'll go from there. So if I'm peering off here, it means that I just have my laptop here and I'm going to be going through and answering questions that it asked me. So going back to the start, the basics, who and what it is. Who is the executive edge for? Well, it's technically for over 40-year-old executives, founders, and CEOs. In reality, earning over 200K a year because it's not a cheap program. They've smashed it in their career, but throughout the process, they've obviously let their health slide. They're carrying around lifestyle fat from obviously prioritizing the travel lunches and not prioritizing their health and consciously eating. In addition to that, they've tried extreme diets, workouts, and things before, got quick wins, but then plateaued when, the next project came up at work or equivalent. And now they're probably frustrated knowing that their health is limiting their performance inside the gym, outside the gym, daily life for their family, and also in the bedroom. Pretty important one. They're time poor, values driven, and ready to invest, but seriously lack the structure and accountability to make it happen again because they like crash courses as opposed to doing it for the long term. Who is this not for? Anyone who really wants quick fixes, magic pills, or anything like that, bugger off. You're not for me. I like to teach people, I like to educate, I like to keep them accountable, and I like to build better leaders for the future. Anyone who isn't willing to be held accountable, I like to call people out on their shit. If they're talking shit and not sticking by their word, I'll remind them of that. Victim mentality of that whole, oh, no, it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. If you join the Executive Edge, I will keep you 100% accountable to your goals because as soon as you join, your goals become my goals. And I hit my goals. Ownership is crucial, extreme ownership. If you know the book, live by it. If you don't value investing in yourself, this is a premium product service offering, both in price and in value. You need to be able to value that to get the most out of it. Otherwise, the Executive Edge just becomes another excuse in your pipeline. You expect to get results without tracking to get there. So in my eyes, it's crucial to track your daily habits to be able to get new results, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing time and time again and expecting a different result. If you were to track all your current bad habits, you'll see pretty quickly how you got to where you are. And I guess my last one is, you think you know better than me in the proven process, but obviously you keep failing, which is why you're outsourcing help. The way I see it is you've achieved extreme success in your business life, but you've done it at the detriment of your health. I have done it in reverse. I have built a business through helping people achieve success in their health. And in turn, I've come to understand the business world. But for me, it's like you can buy your time back by hiring specialists who know how to maximize what they do. In one sentence, goody Claude, one sentence, what is the Executive Edge? The Executive Edge is a performance transformation program that builds your health foundation through strategic training, intelligent nutrition, optimized recovery, and peer level accountability from both me and people like yourself who are also in the program. Designed specifically for high performers who've mastered business but are failing their bodies. Fuck, that's good. Pretty happy with that. How long is the program? It's a minimum of a 12-week commitment. Why 12 weeks? From weeks 1 to 4, it's all about setting up, onboarding, interrupting your current shit patterns, setting new ones. Then week 5 to 8, it's about adaptation and momentum building. And then between 9 and 12 is when we really start to hit our strides, get some full refinement and sustainability protocols in place so you can start to kick some goals. Post that 12 weeks, that's when I see people start to go, okay, cool, I start to understand this. What's next? What can I work on? Might have already dropped, 5 to 10 kilos, depending on how seriously they take this and how much time they put into it. And then you can start to kick more goals. Sometimes it's just weight loss that people want to lose that lifestyle weight, lose that tie around the midsection. They lose that, but then they go, I don't like the shape underneath it. That's when we can get to work on step 2. And when that is the case, that's when I offer a month-to-month rolling, where we just start to work towards whatever that next goal is. Usually, it is either going into some performance goals being powerlifting, Olympic lifting, or even like a triathlon, a marathon, stuff like that. So, where you start is not where you end. It's always just the beginning. Executive Edge really helps you dial in your overall performance and clarity around your health. Actual time commitment. Initially, I'd said it was 3 hours, but looking at it, it's like the face-to-face in the environment of gym stuff is 3 hours. But then when I add it all together, you're looking to do 3 to 4 sessions a week of 45 to 60-minute sessions. That's what I was talking about in terms of 3 hours. But then in addition to that, you need to be doing daily check-ins, which is 2 to 5 minutes. You need to be doing meal prep, which is probably 30 minutes a week. And then I guess the last thing I made notes on it is all your recovery protocols and your baseline checking and tracking, which I looked at it all in. You're looking at around 5 hours a week. So I'm going to release a reel on my Instagram a little bit later on today, having a bit of a laugh at the fact that most people say they haven't got time to fix their health and fitness. You spend 60 hours a week working, you spend 56 hours sleeping, 21 doing miscellaneous family shitting, showering, and then you also do a couple of other things that equate to around 150 hours a week. You've got 18 hours left over. You can definitely spare 5 to prioritize being more efficient in all other areas of life and also just being happier. I know being not your optimal self can make you bloody miserable, especially as a high performer. So let's fix it. Because I guess at the end of the day, you're already spending time being unhealthy, so why not spend the time fixing that, If you feel like shit, you have low energy, poor sleep, managing your health and anxiety, we're just redirecting that time into solutions, not burdening you. And that's the big thing in the Executive Edge. We help rebuild all your protocols, What do you do when you travel? What do you do when you go to restaurants? What do you do when you go to the gym? What do you do if you can't go to the gym and you're doing a home workout? All of those things is what the Executive Edge is about. And the big one is, if you can't actually commit 5 hours a week to your health and fitness, you're actually not ready to commit to being a healthy human being. That is a baseline expectation. But look, that's just under 10 minutes. This is part 2, aka part 1 redone, because part 1 had its own audio errors. But I hope you enjoyed. Any questions regarding the program, leave them in the comments below. Talk soon.